I was once harshly attacked for saying Shanghai's economy has fallen behind many second and third-tier cities. But look at the past 2 years. 3 to 4 million people have already left. The once dazzling Nanjing Road, the pride of Shanghainese, now sees shop after shop shuttered, department stores losing customers at a cliff-like pace. This was once the world's economic hub, yet today it's collapsing. Shanghai is attracting fewer and fewer people each year. This year, its nightlife has completely died out. Even if actress Liu Yifei came to perform, no one would show up, because people simply have no money. I've run a financial firm here for over a decade, but this year is the darkest yet. And I have to wonder, will next year be any better? At Hongqiao, once a gateway to this so-called international metropolis, the scene is desolate. Where has everyone gone? Remember Xingkong Plaza by Carrefour in Gubei, between Xianxia Road and Anlong Road? Once dazzling with neon lights and packed crowds all night long, shop leases here used to cost hundreds of thousands of yuan, and they were still in demand. Now interiors are crumbling, landlords can't rent them out, and 5 entire streets are lifeless. On Nanjing Road in Meilong, Shuhui district, something shocking happened. Over 30 stores, all closed. This used to be my family's go-to spot after dinner, bustling with students from East China University of Science and Technology. But when I came back recently, everything was shuttered. Old streets of Shanghai, once lively, are now silent. Look at Baoshan Golden Street, once among the top 3 business districts. The ground floor restaurants are gone. Even giants like Haidilao, Moo Woo BBQ, and Family Mart couldn't survive. If basic dining demand has collapsed, what hope remains? Inside Golden Street, it's worse. Shop after shop empty, for transfer signs everywhere. The second floor has become a ghost street with 90% closed down. At night, even young people don't dare to walk upstairs. On Huaihai Road, Shanghai's second most famous commercial street, floors 1 to 3 have collapsed entirely. The trendy shops on Donghu Road are gone, and half the cafes on Yongkong Road Coffee Street have disappeared. This land was once worth its weight in gold. Now even the foreigners have left. If the city center looks like this, what chance do the suburbs have? Even Luzhui, Shanghai's pride and financial crown jewel, is struggling. On Dongchang Road, beneath the iconic 3 towers, pharmacies are shut and more than 10 storefronts sit empty. If the financial elite's home base can't survive, what does that say? On North Sichuan Road, once the 3rd biggest shopping area, a mall at the subway entrance now has a 90% closure rate. From the 1st floor to the 3rd, only one lonely restaurant remains. Chipu Clothing Market, once the wardrobe of Shanghai, is eerily empty. More sellers than buyers. Some malls feel like horror movie sets, deserted and silent. Who dares to shop in places like this? Is this really Shanghai? In Qibao, near where I once lived, a store that once thrived has now been closed for 2 months. Goods still sit abandoned, official seals pasted on the doors. The shelves are bare. A guard told me clearance sales began in May at 70% off, but hardly anyone came. Even the last Senlin store is closing on August 31st. After 5 years, the once booming Hema Tea membership stores have suffered a total defeat. What stings the most is personal. Just last month, I ate at one of these restaurants. The food was delicious, service was great, prices fair, and I often ordered delivery. But it's gone. Another hot pot restaurant nearby? Closed. My favorite BBQ place? Gone. Even a shop that had just spent big on renovations, with brand new interiors and a garden-style design, already bankrupt. The truth is undeniable. Running a physical business in Shanghai today is brutally difficult. China's economy is in freefall, and Shanghai, once the crown jewel of first-tier cities, now shows scenes that look straight out of a Great Depression. The scale of the collapse is staggering. Streets are empty, shopping malls deserted, and endless rows of shops shuttered. Foreign companies are gone, migrant workers have disappeared, and locals say walking through the city feels like wandering in a place stripped of life. The prosperity that once defined Shanghai has completely vanished. On social media, residents are asking, where did Shanghai's 20 million people go? Huaihai Middle Road, once jammed with crowds, now has only a few lonely passers-by. Songjiang's Hongqiao Street, once vibrant with cars and people, fell silent after Foxconn and BYD pulled out. In Jinshan district, locals say it feels like over 1 million residents simply vanished. Even buses are no longer crowded, and the rush hour traffic jams that once defined Shanghai life have disappeared. Bustling areas like Weilan Road and Waking West Road are now nearly empty. Even large malls such as Bailian look abandoned. For lease signs plaster storefronts, their ink fading after months without tenants. Gigantic malls that were booming just 2 years ago now stand like empty shells. Hundreds of stores closed, leaving only a lonely Starbucks clinging on. Take the massive commercial complex near Songjiang University Town. Built in 2015 for 3 billion yuan, it was once called the back garden of the university town, filled with students crowding international supermarkets and shops. Today, a decade later, it's a ghost town. The 120,000 square meter mall, once a rising star, has become a commercial graveyard, with Starbucks as the last survivor. Even on weekends, crowds never come. Are people hiding at home? And if they don't go out, how can consumption possibly recover? Even dining streets are collapsing. In the so-called Korean street, Seoul night market has lost its buzz, and the downgrade in consumer spending is obvious everywhere. Small shops in Taopu bring in just 200 to 400 yuan a day, barely enough for rent, let alone utilities. One shop owner who opened in May admitted defeat. After 3 months, they decided to shut down at the end of the month just to stop the bleeding. Locals warn outsiders, don't come to Shanghai for jobs. Don't come, one man said. The job market here is terrible. If you can earn 3,000 yuan back home without rent, just stay home. Even Shanghai South Railway Station, once buzzing with travelers, now looks half empty. Subway exits on Line 1 and Line 3 are quiet. KFC and Family Mart branches are dark. Shaw County snack shops sit empty, and the underground malls, once jammed with crowds, are now desolate. Shoppers walk through in disbelief, asking, how did Shanghai, once the most vibrant city in China, fall to this? Here, rows of milk tea shops and snack stalls stand waiting. But business is bleak, very bleak. LVXI, once a lively area, now has no customers at all. Even this once bustling passageway is deserted. And it's not just shops. The middle class is being crushed. I'm 44 years old and have been unemployed for 4 months, one resident confessed. After losing my job, the only thing I have more of is time. Everything else is gone. To survive, he cut off unnecessary expenses, fired the housekeeper, stopped ordering takeout, started cooking at home, stopped buying clothes, and even quit smoking. I've suspended all investments, pulled out of the stock market, stopped paying insurance, and may even sell an apartment. We need cash, and with Shanghai's housing market sinking, holding property is just losing money. The middle class is sliding from owners to the propertyless. This is the brutal reality after unemployment. This is Shanghai now. Homeowners crying, suppliers crying, delivery riders crying, Didi drivers crying, vendors, restaurants, salons, all crying. Tell me, which industry isn't in tears? Even Nanjing West Road, once Shanghai's luxury showcase, has collapsed. The busiest stretch near the Park Hotel is empty. The famous Nanjing Grand Food Stall is sealed shut, doors and windows boarded up. The street that was once packed for decades is now a graveyard of closed shops. For decades, this stretch of Nanjing West Road was always the liveliest. In the 1980s and 1990s, it was so packed that buses could barely stop, and pedestrian overpasses overflowed with crowds. Today, shop after shop is shuttered. Such emptiness hasn't been seen in 30 or 40 years. At 6 o'clock in the evening, rush hour, the streets should be full, but instead, barely anyone is walking. We arrived at the Grand Cinema on Nanjing Road, once a sea of people, but today it was deserted. Even the Starbucks across the street was empty. I remember when you had to fight for a seat because there were too many customers. This is the desolate Nanjing West Road we see now. Is this really still China's #1 street? On September 27, 2025 at noon, we checked restaurants at Jiding West City's Weituan Square. Qinjiabao had only a handful of tables occupied. Fengshui had a few more, but still sparse. The sushi restaurant? Barely anyone. The Korean BBQ? Just one table. The Japanese yakiniku? Almost completely empty. A netizen filmed a video and said, "It's hard to believe Shanghai has become this dilapidated. Many friends who've never been here still imagine a city of glamour, skyscrapers, and prosperity. But behind the skyline, there's another Shanghai you don't know." Another user, Forever Mormori 123, wrote, "I hadn't visited Global Harbor Mall in a long time. I went there for lunch, and at noon there was no need to queue for parking or food. Apart from the Apple Store, the whole mall felt lifeless. But Global Harbor was once one of Shanghai's top 10 landmark malls, always overflowing with crowds. Now it's just depressing." And Kryonurum commented, "I really don't understand society anymore. Why has it come to this? Streets and alleys have no vitality at all. In Shanghai now, only the very center has some life, while the rest of the city is desolate. I never thought that in the 21st century, in an era supposedly of rapid development, I'd see so many unemployed people wandering the streets in search of work."
Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We will keep reporting on the COVID surge in China, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to get the latest videos. And thank you for tuning in.